how the fuck do you sleep at night? Seriously, how the fuck do you sleep at night?
Well, I'm at a university, and I think we should be able to discuss these issues. Start the event now. The event is about spectrum street epistemology, which is a method developed by Peter Boghossian.
Okay, today I'm going to be reviewing a spectrum street epistemology conversation, I guess, by Francis Widdowson. And I already saw it, and, well, I shouldn't say I already saw it. I didn't watch the whole thing, because it's hard to watch. I watched probably the first 30 minutes or so, and it didn't really go well. So, right off the bat, I want to kind of clarify something. What Frances did in this particular instance was advertise it on social media that she was going to be in this location at this time. And it drew a crowd, you know, people came. And the people who came kind of were protesting her. I don't think this is the right strategy if you want to have any type of street epistemology conversation, whether it be spectrum or not. And the reason is, she made this, even if it was a question on the social media post, it was a very controversial thing put out there, whether it be a question or a claim. People are going to come, they're going to be energized, they're going to be out there to protest, to make themselves heard. Not to go there to talk. They're going to be there to make noise, to protest, to express their freedom of speech. Not really a good strategy, if I'm being honest. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into it.
Should I be talking to anyone from security? You guys are just here? Okay. Anyway, we're just going to wait for people. Hi there. Did you want to talk about this claim? No? You're welcome to participate. We're not going to lay out the maths yet because people aren't here. It's supposed to be 1 o'clock that we're going to be starting, but it's just a question.
Okay, so this might kind of back up my theory about the social media post drawing in people who wanted to protest, because she had the thing with I don't know if it was a question or a claim. We'll see the board in a little bit, I think. But that person didn't want to talk. So you're drawing a crowd that doesn't want to talk, but we'll see later on that they want to protest. So just kind of keep that in mind here. She asked the person who was clearly there, you'll see a little bit, clearly there from the social media post. But she didn't want to talk right off the bat. Nah, I don't want to talk.
So you probably have different views on it. You have any views? Pardon?
I was in the day school. My dad was a residential school survivor. All this whole family was. And there was reports. I had an ex-co-worker. Babies were incinerated. And you call that a fucking hoax? Bullshit.
Well, that's not what the hoax is about. The hoax is about the Kamloops case. So, and the incineration, that's something that has to be challenged.
Why?
So what's going on right now here, Francis, you're kind of espousing your own views, which, freedom of speech, right? You can do that. But if your goal is to do any type of street epistemology, right off the bat, espousing your views, probably not going to lead to any real good outcomes for street epistemology, right? They're clearly getting heated here. They are getting angry because they disagree with it. Whether or not they should get angry because you're espousing your views, that's a whole nother story. But the fact of the matter is they are. They're hearing you basically in preach mode, right? You're preaching to them. You're telling them, I think this, and this should be challenged. You know, and that's what they're hearing. You're not presenting it like, hey, let's have a conversation and we can talk about what you believe and why you believe it. That the presentation is, I believe this and I'm going to preach this to you. And they're there to protest you because of the social media post. So you're kind of confirming what they already had in their mind, that like, hey, this person is here to preach and I'm here to counter protest them. Kind of confirming that for them.
Because there's no evidence that they
No evidence.
No.
No evidence.
What the fucking lies? What the fuck are you?
All of our survivors that are saying that, you're calling them liars to their face.
You know what? I don't think they're lying.
So then what is it then? If they're not, if you're challenging what's being happened or what has happened, then what are you saying?
Have you heard about the satanic panic?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's the satanic panic, a similar thing happened.
So you may not want to describe it in that way. I mean, granted, you're in preach mode, which I'm saying don't do that. But you may not want to use that term. Just that is going to be like spitting in somebody's face. So they're never going to take that in a good way.
The shit that was disproven in the 80s.
Yeah.
The shit that was disproven in the 80s
Yes.
is what you're saying was happening at the school.
For the incinerate,
Oh,
claims about incineration. A similar kind of claim is being made. So, or it's definitely a possibility. Suppose.
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
You weren't at these schools. You don't fucking know fuck all.
Well, that's true.
Are you kidding?
Anyway. So these are all. So in terms of discussing this, like we're just raised the incinerator, the claims about the incinerator.
this is our
Okay. So I think we're gonna go and lay out the maps.
European gold.
Okay, let's.
Yeah, I mean, you can lay out the mats, but it is not going to go well. I can tell you that right now, because you have kind of this mob. I'm not saying that you like did anything to deserve to be, sworn at like that, right? But you're not helping either. If you were to go in and have the sign and just be like, hey, I'd like to talk to you about this. What do you think? Hand them the microphone. Not literally. I mean, you can't literally, but give them the power in the situation. Relinquish your power. Say, hey, what do you think? And guess what? People will take it. People will take that power. All right? Because right now it's like a power grab. Like you were trying to preach, and then they were screaming at you. And it was like, who can have the most power? Who can be the loudest? Who can be heard the most? Let them have it. Let them have it. That's what street epistemology is about. Letting them have that power. And then asking them questions. Letting them answer. That's what it's about. Don't try to take the power. That's not what this is about.
Let's keep on going. Let's get this. And Daniel.
Good. Yes, support the fact that they have an elder on their territory. You're trying to tell an elder on their territory how he, I would get you with the. Our Treaty 1 territory.
Anyway, the incineration claim. It was about the incineration claim, which has been made numerous times. And so that needs to be investigated. And you can't just accept survivors' testimonies about the incineration because that's a highly improbable claim. And the satanic panic, you had similar kinds of claims that were made that, all sorts of satanic abuse was happening. Turned out it was just misremembering where people had memories implanted through various stories. And I must bring up Devin Annett at this point. Devin Annett was a major. It's a question mark. It's a question mark. There's a question mark.
Hold up. Yeah, there was a question mark on the sign. Yes. But what you've been saying for the last, I don't know. How long has this video been going on for right now? 5 minutes probably. It hasn't been a question mark. It's been lots of claims. Claims I'm sure you believe are true, and maybe they are true. I don't know. I'm not getting into it. I don't know anything about it. But you're taking a stance. It's not a question mark what you've verbally been saying. Okay? And that's what people are hearing. Okay? you have to recognize that, right?
In this poster. So we don't know whether it is or not. And actually, I don't believe myself it's a hoax. Jaime Rubenstein, Tom Flanagan, they argue it's a hoax, but I don't believe it's a hoax. So I would argue slightly disagree. That would be my own position. Well,
Okay. You said that you don't think it's a hoax. Some people think it's a hoax, but you don't think that whatever that claim about the graves is true. That's not what everybody else is hearing. Okay, that's not what I would have assumed, listening to what you said. I'm not saying you should lead with that because I don't think that it's appropriate to lead with your opinions. But if you are going to, lead with that.
when I get the maths up, I will do that. So that's my position, but it doesn't matter what my position is because I'm not here to tell people, well, I don't mind participating, but it's a question mark. This is an important thing to point out here is that people can say, yes,
You don't like participating, but you're kind of been making a lot of claims here. You kind of already have been participating. I mean, granted, the maths aren't out, but you've been espousing your own views or other people's views. Some people think it's a hoax, right? So, kind of already that chicken's been cooked, I think.
they can say, no, it's not. They can give their reasons, but I'm hoping Jaime Rubenstein is going to be here because he argues that it's a hoax. And then I can argue against him because I don't think it's a hoax. So, but the Satanic Panic, there's a man by the name of Kevin Annett, who is very well known, who is spreading all sorts of tales of torture chambers, incinerators, and so on. And also the Queen Elizabeth II.
You may want to be neutral about this, right? You're saying he's spreading all sorts of tales. That's kind of the assumption that it's all bullshit. So you're kind of weaseling in your own view. Maybe be more neutral. Say he claims. Claim might steer it a little bit. He is saying that blah 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 blah. Whatever he says, that's neutral. He's just saying it, right? So just keep that in mind.
Story. Billy Coombs said that Queen Elizabeth II visited the Kamloops Indian Residential School and said that Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip abducted 10 children.
Hey, it's almost like you took my advice. You're saying, she said this. Beautiful.
Elizabeth II wasn't even in Kamloops in 1964, and even if Queen Elizabeth II was in Kamloops, it's highly improbable that she would be able to abduct 10 children. The Queen's
children, our ancestors were.
So you just said you don't like to participate, but now you've made a claim. It's kind of participating. You see why people might get the wrong impression?
Burned by Satanists in the Catholic Church. Jesus.
Anyway, I did not say that they were burned by Satanists. I said the Satanic Panic was a case of misremembering.
Yeah, that's why you don't want to use that term. Because people are going to think that. Yeah.
Due to memories being implanted. And we've had Kevin Annett spreading these stories since the 90s. He made a film, Unrepentant, in 2007. People have watched that film. They've read his book. It's easy that people could just, misremember these things, and they're not lying.
Have you ever been thrown in a cubby hole?
No.
Well, I have.
Okay.
I was thrown in a fucking cubby hole by you people.
Okay, well, that was wrong. That was wrong that happened. But that doesn't prove the incineration claim.
You're calling liars?
No, I'm not. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm saying
But you facilitate the ground for people to have these conversations to allow the denialism to happen. Do you understand what that does to our people? Do you understand the trauma that does to our elders? And you stay here and you facilitate it, thinking like you're doing a good fucking thing. How the fuck do you...
So, you had the opportunity earlier, and granted, social media posts, having people come, not ideal. All of that aside. He had the opportunity to give this guy the power. Give him the power. Okay? because he sees you with power. He sees you as preaching, as causing harm. Transfer that power to him. Give him the microphone. Let him speak. Ask him an open-ended question. What do you think? Let him respond. Okay? Take that in. Why do you think that? It's called street epistemology. Try it. You can just do that. And it will really calm this down. If you did that, maybe right at the beginning, you probably wouldn't be screaming. You might be having a lovely conversation. At least, I suspect you might.
Sleep at night. Seriously, how the fuck do you sleep at night?
Well, I'm at a university, and I think we should be able to discuss these issues. Yeah, no.
Universities used to be places
Exactly.
we had dialogue.
Yep.
Debate with each other. Okay, two different groups have different ideas.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Yep.
But at least we have a civil conversation.
Yes.
But when you start to yell at the person, when you start,
But it's better to have the yelling and get people to be able to communicate their ideas than to have the silencing that goes on. So we're here to just stop the silencing.
Maybe. Is being silent better than screaming at each other? I guess technically maybe, but I don't know. I don't know what the screaming accomplishes. Like, I think that accomplishes pretty much nothing. Being silent or silenced. Nothing. So it's kind of a wash. I don't know, man.
It's better to have the conversations and people can yell at me. They can call me any name in the book. It's not I can deal with it. I can hang in there. And I would like to know. This is a university. This is the University of Manitoba. The Sacred Fire, which I don't agree with that name, but if we're going to have a fire, it should be about telling the truth at a university, not about propaganda and preventing people from discussing things. I just had a big confrontation. Daniel was with me. We have footage of it with the director of University of Manitoba Press in his office in the common area. The University of Manitoba Press put out on social media that I was a residential school denier. And I demanded to know why they said that and what evidence they had for that. And he had nothing to say. Because the University of Manitoba is a disgrace, is a complete disgrace. It is an academic institution. It should be.
If you want to do spectrum street epistemology, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're digging yourself a hole here. You're like, I mean, maybe this beef you have with this university or whoever, it might be legit. You might have some legit concerns, claims, right to be angry. All of that might be true. And quite frankly, I'll take your word for it. But like, might not be the time or the place if you want to do street epistemology. You might want to put that in your pocket, save that for later, and not bring that up because it's probably pissing somebody off there. I don't know. I don't know if maybe they really like the university. They might be getting really pissed off. So, maybe save that one for later. Maybe save it for when maybe you can just like protest the university, like a street preacher type situation, that might be more appropriate. But yeah, just keep that in mind.
Facilitating these discussions, but they wanted to charge my organization, the Society for Academic Freedom and Scholarship, between $2,000 and $5,000 for security costs, which are because they encourage people like Sean Carlton and Negon Sinclair to foment activism on this campus instead of academic discussion. So shame on you, the president of the University of Manitoba. Shame on you, David Larson, director of the University of Manitoba Press. We're here to have the academic discussion, and if people want to yell and get upset, well, that's their right too. They can do that. So we're going to lay out the maps, and we're going to have the spectrum street epistemology on the clean, and you can strongly disagree with the clean, or you can strongly agree with it. And we're going to go over here and lay the maps down on the sacred fire.
So I'm sorry. It's like you just shot yourself in the foot. Like after all that, and it's like, okay, let's get started. No, everybody is. Your chances of success have gone from, if you would have just laid out the mats right away, explained what you were doing, and went for it, and just handed that power over to the people, and then asked the questions, you would have had a decent chance of success. Now that you've preached to them for I don't know how long, your chances are not good. They're just not good. I'm gonna be honest. You're setting yourself up to fail. Honestly.
So this is a truth telling. This fire is for truth telling. That's what it says on the University of Manitoba website. So we are going to tell some truth today in front of this fire, because that's what a university is about.
A little bit dramatic. But, I mean, okay.
Pardon?
You can't stand on talk about it, secret ground, so you're not going to do it to the
Sorry. Can you just say that on camera? Here? Oh, here? Oh, no, we're not going on the, we're gonna be on the sidewalk. That is sacred, which sacred, it's not sacred. That's nonsense. But
I mean, yeah, I'm not religious either, but I'm not gonna espouse those views right before I do any type of street epistemology. I'm just saying, okay, yeah, I don't think it's sacred either, but I don't know. I'm not gonna preach it, I don't know.
I'm not, it's nonsense.
What's nonsense?
This is not sacred.
What's not sacred?
This turtle rocks with a fire there. That's my,
You're gonna tell us what?
Ask him a fucking question. Stop preaching. Oh my God, stop.
it's sacred to you. It's sacred to you. I'm not telling you.
You're going to laugh in my own face and laugh
I'm not calling your ancestors. I'm not.
Why get out the mats? Try again later. You've set this up to fail. I'm sorry. I know I keep repeating myself, but you can't just be like, that's not sacred, and then expect these people to engage with you in a nice, calm, polite manner. You've pissed them off.
I'm not calling them last names. I'm not. Remember.
So just a little note here. I fixed the audio because the audio was terrible. It also got rid of all the extra noise. So every time she bangs the drum, I've removed that because, well, you can't hear anything else if that's in the audio, and it's really hard on the eardrums. So just FYI.
Why do you think that guy's saying your ancestors are liars? I'm not. I don't call it a cult. No, that's the claim. We're going to be in.
So you guys are kind of talking past each other. So if you say they misremembered that could be interpreted as lying. I don't consider that lying, but some people probably will, so you're probably talking past each other.
We're looking at
This is not a hoax.
I'm trying to listen.
And I'm protecting my elder.
I have siblings that have put it up.
I'm going to put out the mask now.
I was born here.
You want honey?
Eat your fucking money. Where we get our money from.
Yeah.
Stolen from us because of the goddamn COVID for 92. With the doctrine of this country. And I have this country. All the resources.
You're here. Really because of the fact.
What is
Did your tribe try to steal land from neighboring tribes?
No, we're
No. You have a record of all of this. You know that your tribe did not conduct activities towards other tribes, try to steal their land and resources.
They didn't write the right piece of it. They only wrote the history so that they would found nothing good.
That's world history.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying.
You read it. I was supposed to have the world.
Francis, I think you've cultivated a debate, and not only a debate, I'm not sure, I can't even hear them properly. The audio is just so bad, but not a very polite debate. Like, she's pointing, and, like, it's not good. Not good.
What do you do here?
Yeah. Let's study it.
Okay, so we're going to start the event now. The event is about spectrum epistemology, which is a method developed by Peter Boghossian. And Peter Boghossian is about trying to understand evidence for claims. So the claim that we are looking at today is
Yo, that is the worst explanation, like, ever. Spectrum street epistemology was invented by Peter, and it's about evaluating evidence or something, you said? That is really bad. You could say, like, street epistemology is a method, conversational method, that's laid out with these maths, and we talk to people about their reasons for belief, and whether we discuss, why each particular reason might be a valid reason for believing, and we try to get down to the nuts and bolts. Something like that. Like, actually explain it. Because what you said wasn't really explained. You don't even have to use the word street epistemology. I actually recommend not using it at all, because you say that, and people are like, what the hell are you talking about? And, quite frankly, I don't blame them. Because, like, it's not a household name.
about whether the claim that there's 215 remains of 215 children buried at Kamloops, is that a hoax? And some people say it's a hoax. Some people argue it's not a hoax. I personally don't think it's a hoax. And there might be some people are lying, but often people don't lie. They're just misremembered, or they think they should believe the elders, or whatever.
You just laid out the maths, and now you're espousing your own views, or at least you're, like, giving potential views. Don't do that. People already know their own views. They don't have to pick one. They know what's in their brain. You don't have to tell them what's potentially in their brain.
Maybe. So it doesn't have to be a hoax, but there's no evidence for the remains of 215 children being buried in Kamloops. And in fact, the Kamloops Indian Band has said that it's anomalies, not remains, that exist in the cemetery, in the outworship. So even the Kamloops Indian Band says that the remains of 215 children have not been found. So there's two rules to spectrum epistemology. The first one is you start on neutral. The second one is that you can't straddle mats. So you got to be either on the.
Like, no offense, but those are just really, you don't need those rules. Those rules are arbitrary, and they're just for, like, the camera, right? They're just to make it more interesting, I guess. Those rules are meaningless. You don't need those rules. And if those are the only two rules, I mean, I would, if you're gonna make rules, I would say just be on the mat that closely aligns with what you believe, with your confidence, position, whatever. That should really be the only rule.
Neutral or the slightly disagree or the disagree or the slightly agree or the agree. And you can, it doesn't matter what you stand on. But anyway, okay, so.
Just remember whose flag you're on. Remember whose flag you're on.
Okay,
Remember whose flag you're on.
what's your name?
Great.
Yeah.
Lorraine.
This is Lorraine. Lorraine, in response to the claim, grave error at Kamloops was a hoax, what mat would you stand on?
I would stand up neutral because I don't know enough to make a decision. I've only read what I've read in the paper.
Okay, so yeah, that was enough. Clearly that did not go well. So I'm gonna play another clip for you. It is a clip of me. And the guy who walked up was hella suspicious of me, right? He thought I was preaching. He thought I was pushing an agenda. You'll see that. And this is how I handled it. And I think I handled it pretty well. And I think there's something to be learned from the way I handled it, hopefully, that maybe Francis should implement.
Thanks for being patient. That was an interesting conversation.
Oop.
You were walking by, you saw the sign.
Yeah.
You're listening into the conversation. Is I guess what did you want to talk about with regards to the subject here?
I had a line to say.
Sure.
Because, well, no matter what, normally, no matter what political group is doing one of these things, it's always going to be gotcha questions.
Maybe. I mean, I think it depends, but I think there can be a neutral type.
Generally is.
Okay.
By the time you get a piece of information, it's been handled by someone with an agenda to push. I'm not sure what yours is, but, as long as it...
See, that's kind of what I like. I'm not sure what your agenda is, but you're doing gotcha questions. So that's what was in his brain when he was walking up. Let's see how potentially that changes, or not. But let's see.
Trends toward an actual conversation and not like Instagram, TikTok worthy gotcha moments. I respect that, I have no idea what you actually think, but so on to say the abortion question though, I think we have a problem. And I think that problem is that both sides kind of fundamentally misrepresent what it even is.
Okay. What is it?
Okay.
And what are they representing it as?
What is it? What are they representing them as? I'm giving him the power. He has the power. He has the microphone. He has the stage. He can speak. That's what I did differently.
Okay. So you have one side that represents it as like a critical moral evil, like the struggle of our generation, the most imperative thing that needs to be abolished right now. And you have the other side that kind of represents it as almost being birth control sometimes. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that neither of those things are particularly accurate. The fact of the matter is nobody has one for fun. That's literally nobody's idea of a good time. Like, it's important to acknowledge that it is a traumatic, difficult procedure. And because it's a traumatic, difficult procedure, nobody gets one unless they have a really fucking good reason to. Which is why, like, your even so I remember Bush era, like the ban on really late term abortions, like, nobody gets those generally unless they, like, one of the ultrasound scans comes up and it's like, this child is going to be severely disabled and never have real quality of life. Nobody gets any of them unless they have a really, really good reason, because it's not fun. It's traumatic. It's a painful experience to go through. So it is, but because of that, it is still a necessary thing to protect. Like, you can see, like, when states ban abortion, you have a whole lot of people that want to be mothers experience a lot of medical difficulty. I think the problem isn't necessarily that people have opinions about it, because that is just the fundamental foundation of our society. And the problem is that people aren't being honest about what their opinions are or what the consequences go. And that applies just as much to my side as probably your side.
Okay. Yeah, and perhaps we're even on the same side. I'm not entirely sure if we are.
I get you're playing a bit, but I can.
No, genuinely. I think what you said makes a lot of sense. I think I agreed with pretty much all of it, I think. Yeah,
Because, like, I've got 2 kids at home. I do not like abortions, like, at fucking all.
Yeah.
But I recognize how necessary they are sometimes. Like,
would there ever be a circumstance in which someone wanted to or did get an abortion, but it wasn't necessary?
See, we're right in the conversation now. He was hella suspicious, and I'm asking him questions. I'm giving him that power. But now I'm asking him a critical question, like a pretty darn critical question. It's not like, it's still surface level, right? But it's getting there.
I'm sure there have been. And, but this is the kind of thing. I'm sure that it happens fairly frequently, right? That, people, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure that it happens, right?
Okay. Well, can you describe the scenario of it?
Everybody's different. The problem is, like, is that you can't make abortions go away. Like, if you ban them, people are still going to get them. They're just going to get them through much more dangerous means. It's like you can go buy, like, you can buy the pills on the internet, get them shipped to your house, like coat hangers. There are literal instructions in the Bible on how to perform an abortion. There are.
I believe it.
There are instructions in the Bible on how to perform an abortion. There are. At this moment, I realized that he thought I was like this religious guy, like trying to espouse my views to these students on campus, and my reaction of like, yeah, I believe you. I think it kind of rocked him a little bit because I don't think he was expecting that.
But the thing is that when you get into questions like that, you end up with this problem where you cannot legislate morality. Like, you can be a complete shitbag with a leftist philosophy. You could be a complete shitbag with a right-wing philosophy. You can be a shitbag as a religious person or an atheist. Like, it's just like a problem with human nature where you put yourself on the moral high ground and then you speak down to everybody that's different from you. You can't.
I don't like that.
It's very much an intent-based thing, and that's almost impossible to even measure. So, when you have, like, so it's impossible for me to even really comment on that because I don't know why that person is thinking that in the first place.
Yeah. Okay.
And, like, yeah, I am absolutely certain that there are some people that really shouldn't be parents. Like, it's like half the reason why we have social services and all that. But you can't tell somebody, because, like, you try and take any steps to change that, you're getting into eugenics and other stuff that just is not going to end well for anyone.
Okay.
And yes, I'm fully aware of the foundation of Planned Parenthood, but
Okay. All right. That was a lot to take in. I'm gonna try to, if you want to be involved. Yeah.
what are we talking about?
You're gonna get going?
Pretty quick.
Okay. We were talking about abortion, but
Okay.
but we can't change it. I've kind of had a couple conversations on that now.
It was an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Good. Let's
Well, one of my cards?
Sure. I'm curious.
I have at it. There you go.
So somebody really suspicious of me. Conversation ends in a handshake and me giving him one of my cards. I'd say that worked out pretty well. And I think he was ready for a heated debate. He was ready for a screaming match, I think. I don't know. But like, hey, it worked out pretty good. And I think Francis, if you were to take more of that approach, give them the power, it'll work out better. Give them the power, and then ask the questions. That's all you got to do. Give them the power, ask the questions. You'll be doing more street epistemology that way. Anyways, that's all I got.